co-host Trey Holiday. And joining me in this segment right now is Justin Carter of Capitol Hill Seattle blog. Thanks again for being with us
Good
today.
to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And joining us today, I mean, honestly, Dan, you have a story to tell.
Yes,
Dan
ma'am.
Gregory, thank you
Yes,
again
ma'am.
for being with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, before we get into your story, we're actually going to play the clip so that the audience can understand what you went through that day, and then you're going to really walk us through it.
Absolutely.
Let's make sure we roll that clip, guys.
Thank you.
A protester is recovering tonight after he was shot at last night's demonstration in Seattle. A black sedan sped down the street toward demonstrators at 11th and Pike. Protesters surrounded the vehicle. When Daniel Gregory approached the driver's side window, he was shot.
It was going to run over the crowd, and the young black gentleman who so bravely stepped up to take on the car, reached in through the window to try to prevent the car from running over the entire crowd.
I hear the gunshot go off in my arms. I moved right in time when he reached for something. I moved right, but my whole thing was to protect those people. That's it. And the whole thing was to protect those people down there.
The man driving the car, Nicholas Fernandez, waived his first court appearance. Through an attorney, Fernandez told the court he was on his way to work and got lost. Bail is set at $150,000. A Snohomish.
Yeah, I mean, there it was right there. You were just instinctively brave. Tell us what was going on in your mind at that time as you saw the car come in. We see that you were talking about saving those people and protecting those people. How was this for you, man?
So at that time, I'm halfway down the block between 11th and Pine. And I'm eating lunch. They was giving out hot dogs. I'm eating a hot dog. And I remember hearing wheels squeal hitting the corner really fast. As that happened, there was a lady hopping on the curb really quick. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, maybe he didn't mean to do that. He's going to stop. But his window was down and people was yelling, stop, stop. So many people yelling, stop, and trying to get his attention by throwing things at him. And then he kept speeding up. And at this point, he's passing me. And I'm like kind of still, like I'm really still at this point. Because in my mind, like, this is not really going down. And as he passes me, I remember one of my friends running, yelling for a medic. Medic, 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 running the opposite direction. Somebody else starts blowing the whistle. So right then there was like two signs that this guy's not going to stop. The first sign was, in my opinion, everybody know what stop means and what no means in whatever country you live in. So it's not a language barrier. You know stop and you know no. So when he didn't stop and he kept going, his window was down, his eyes was as focused as Dom from the Fast and the Furious on the crowd. Like his eyes was like dead on. So me knowing like this crowd is down here and they have no idea a car is coming to blindside them, it was like, there's no way I'm going to live with that. There's no way I'm going to go home and go to sleep knowing I could have tried to do something to stop this car. So something in my head, I say it's God, I'm a believer. God told me, don't let that car hit those people. And as that car goes by, something tells me, go. So it was like a magnet. I promise you, it was like a magnet that went, like I never ran that fast in my life. Like the fear was, if that car hits anybody, then the life could be taken away from them. And nobody deserves the life to be taken away from them. So when something told me, go, I ran. And I got to him like halfway down the block. And I grabbed my hand on the steering wheel and I yanked it to the right. And in my head, there were people in that side, like about to get hit if I yank it right too hard. So I let go and I yank it left. When I yank it left, he hits the gas. So now I really can't keep up with the car. And if I like don't let go, then he's gonna whip my arm out. So I let go of the car, lost my balance. I look up and he's still going, and that crowd is like still not moving. Nobody's like moving. And I kept running, and I remember like I called up to him and I grabbed him and I tried to like pull him out the car. I think at first I punched him and tried to pull him out the car. When I punched him, he turned over, and when he turned over, like something told me to move, and boom. But in my head, I was like, there's no way he just shot me. Then I smelled the gunpowder, but I was like, the car stopped, and all the panic has reached the crowd. Everybody moved out the way. So I'm like, yes, nobody got hurt. But the scary thing was when I was on the ground, like I looked up just to double check, like that car had stopped, right? And it was stopped, but the door was still closed. So you didn't get out the car yet. And I'm like, oh no, because like in any movie we watch, they get out the car and finish the guy off. So I'm like, this is it, you know?
Did he say anything?
He didn't. He didn't. He didn't say
Or
anything.
what were you saying?
Oh, what do you mean?
When you were, what were people yelling? Were people saying things? Were people shouting at them to stop? What was
Everybody
going on?
was yelling stop. I wouldn't say any. I was just trying to get on. Like, it's no time to yell stop. Like this go. It was like, it was all instinct. Like it was just like, I do anything to. If the only thing I regret is not going out there earlier. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I regret is not going out there earlier.
You were so
because
brave. You got no
like,
regrets.
If it was literally up to me, I would have like hopped in front of him.
Yeah.
He would have got me first, and then everybody would have got hit, and then everybody would have moved. You know what I mean? But it was just like it's just
That's amazing.
The fear in my head was like people protesting, looking this way, and a car comes and clears the people in between them. Well, they had to go home and live with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
And
were taking a lot in, obviously, all
Absolutely.
at the same time. I mean, as you explain your thoughts back to back to back like that, we can only imagine that they were just rushing and flooding your mind
absolutely.
at the time. You know,
Well,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I deal with sexual affective disorder. I went to therapy back home and everything like that. And through learning about mental illnesses, they teach us how to meditate.
Mhm.
So when I got shot, I knew how to meditate, and the sky was just as blue as this. And I took myself to a beach immediately. Thank God, because I didn't want the pain to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the mental aspect, I had to be really strong that day, and I didn't want people to worry about me. I didn't
Yeah.
want people to think, oh no, he died. Like I got shot in the arm, and I figure I got shot in the arm. I know my legs are fine, and I can get up and tell these people we're okay to keep protesting, keep fighting for us, because this
Yeah.
is serious. It's deeper than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's way
yeah.
deeper than what happened to me.
Well, how
Like-
was the support for you after people realized that you were really there and you made this instinctive move to protect other people's lives? How was it, people supporting you
Mhm.
after that?
The support was beautiful. Obviously, it was a GoFundMe page, and I was able to give back to the homeless community and help my family out. And the people were there, like not just that, but people were there mentally supporting me.
Yeah.
Like I was able to talk about it all the time. Like a lot of times, that's all that's on my mind. Like, what if it went wrong? Like, what if I didn't move in time? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, who would stand up for me then? You know what I mean? And like, uh, the support has been tremendous through the different churches I'm involved with, and uh, therapy, and friends from Seattle and from Baltimore, and family and friends. So
Wow. I mean,
That's-
that's really good to hear, because I think when you make a personal sacrifice like that, to understand then you were also enwrapped by love is so key.
absolutely,
My one question to you too is, obviously, I mean, we see how traumatic it is for members of our team here at Converge, just reliving that time frame.
absolutely.
Omari, Jake was out there, so many of our folks were out there. How has it been for you? Now we're talking about a year later,
Absolutely.
and it's probably a very important part of your
Yes.
life, I can only imagine. But how has it been for you in this year since
Well,
this happened?
It's been honestly, it's been really rough for me to like trust society again and to get back out there and like communicate with people. And like when I move around here, I have like symptoms of PTSD. My heart beats a certain way, and like I get nerves. I'm always like all my symptoms all my senses are heightened uh, a lot, and I kind of use it to my advantage. I actually got a security job over here, so like I like protecting people, helping people out, and being there for people. And I'm actually doing a security job around this area. but I do understand that they're doing a shop anniversary, which kind of worries me because I want people to come out there with good intentions. You know what I mean? Everybody's not come out there with the same idea, and that's what worries me. And to see that being like almost set up right in front of my face again is like it scares me. It worries me because like anything could happen at any given second, and like my main concern is I want people to go make it home to their families. Like that I put people first, like humans, and I just um and that's what puts the salt on my PTSD because not just protecting myself, I want to protect others around me before myself, and that's what God put me here for. That I'm built to do so, and I feel like
It's a lot.
yeah,
It's a lot
it
to take in,
really
and
is.
clearly you did it that day, Justin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So you're working on Capitol Hill now.
Yes,
so you
sir.
come back. So how's it feel to be in the neighborhood and back and
Well,
part of it? And
I feel like this is almost like I have a new birth date now, June 7th. You know what I mean? And because anything could have went wrong that day, and I feel like grounded to this area. You know what I mean? I feel like a magnet to this area. But however, I won't go down that way, and I won't eat a hot dog ever again.
okay, well, it's good to have you back on
Yes,
the hill.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and just thank you again for your obviously your selflessness in that moment. I know so many people really you probably did save their lives in that act.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, when you talk about grabbing the wheel of the car and ensuring that it wasn't going to hit anyone else or hit anybody in general, you did what was necessary
Yes,
at that
ma'am.
time. And you know what? You have our support here at
Thank you.
Converge
Thank you.
always.
Thank you.
You know,
Likewise.
again, as Justin said, I'm glad that you're here continuing to protect the people
Yes, ma'am.
right here on the Hill.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
It's
thank you
all
so
love.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us today, Dan.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, you guys heard it here from Dan himself. I mean, obviously, this was something that was so historic as we saw that car plow through and we saw Dan take an act of bravery, Justin. I mean, honestly, I'm glad that he was here with us today to celebrate and just talk about his own story, because he deserves celebration for that act.
I mean, a hero protecting the First Amendment, allowing folks to keep protesting and keep marching and be part of this. Yeah, no, that's an important moment, an important person.
Absolutely.